Hey, Shalom, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honor to the elders, the great millstone who told me this truth. A sincere Shalom, Labakarium, Shal Yasha'Allah. That's peace to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. I'll try to make this quick. This is this channel here. This is Richie from Boston. And I started following him because of the Apostle Tahar, a few years back he put him out there. So I've been keeping track of his, here and there when he pop up. He be having some good stuff, Richie be going in. He's a Christian. Richie's a Christian. They waiting for sweet Jesus, which is never coming, Christianity is dead. But anyway, this video here, I was checking this out, popped up on my feed. He's going into this upcoming Super Bowl, and this major ritual that they're going to do at halftime. Now, I've been hearing some things about the, what happened last, what is the Grammys? I think it was the Grammys, and Lady Gaga, they released her new video, which is, what's the name of this song? Abracadabra? Yeah, Abracadabra. That word abracadabra, let me see something here. 1 second. Because that means to bring forth while I speak. Abracadabra, meaning. Okay, let me see here.
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra, language, typically a form. Get the use. Let me see, abracadabra. Let me see if they're going to give it to you. What is the literal meaning of abracadabra? Is tracking its roots back to the 3rd century AD. Abracadabra is believed to be the origin from the ancient Arabic. It goes back to the Hebrew, which is the Arabic. Oh, yes, here we go. I create as I speak. And this was Lady Gaga's new video. As you can see, it goes back to the Arabic. The Aramaic, that's the Hebrew right there. It goes back to the Hebrew. So I create as I speak. So these people are deep in, at this time. And this is good because it's one spiritual war against the next. And if you didn't know what war you're in a very spiritual war at this time. So that's why you got to get your weight up spiritually. The Lord tell you hit this here. In fact, let me get this. We're not fighting a physical war. That's why a lot of Jake about to lose. They coming in with this this brute mentality, this physical mentality. You can't put hands on the spirit, man. I mean, Jake losing all over the place. This is what's this, 2 Corinthians, but if I got to be here, let me see here. 1 second. It's we know Ephesians 3. I mean, it's this here. Okay. This is, I'm going to just read it. 2 Corinthians 10:3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, which is physical, but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of strongholds and casting down of imagination. So we going into this battle through the spiritual world, which is Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Casting down imagination and every high thing that exhort itself against the knowledge of Yahweh, and bringing into captivity through the obedience of Hamashiach, and having in readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. So this is prepping yourself and getting ready for the battle that's been set on you through the Spirit, as we're going to see in this video. That's why the people are getting cold. They doing more, ceremonies over our food, over our drinks. Hey, the type of car you drive has been prayed over. That's why there's been a lot of accidents in them Teslas, man. This whole place is just one big haunted house. And when you come into this knowledge, you understand this clearly, that Esau has been fighting us, the Israelites, mainly the elect, through the spiritual world. And now that we woke, the Lord woke us up to the spiritual world. What did you wake up to? Yeah, you woke up and found out your skin wasn't black, it's brown. Okay, we get it. But what the Lord woke the elect to is the spiritual world. How to maneuver and get strong and steadfast and strengthen yourself with your relationship with Yahushua in the spiritual world. That's not easy. That's not given to everybody. This is St. John's 4, verse 22. You worship what you know not, for we know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers. So the Lord is waking up the true worshipers right now. And the true worshipers are doing this through the spirit of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. Not with a bulletproof vest, not with your rights to bear arms, not prepping food, not by wokeness. You know, we're getting sick of this. I'm glad Trump gonna do away with this woke shit. Because all this is still physical and you would never win. You watch this video. And those that have eyes to see, you know exactly what they talking about. We know how this story ends. We know how it restarts. We know where we're going from here. And all that's through the spirit. But the Lord only giving that to the true worshipers. You don't know you're a true worshiper until the Lord activates you. And then you understand that this whole thing is through the spirit. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers, that means you got phony worshipers out here. You got men that know they're the Israelites, they got the fringes on, but they're none of the Lord's. That's why the Lord tell you one of the scariest scriptures, Matthew 7:21, for those that's out here playing around with the word. The Lord said, I never knew you. Depart from me, because you're not a true worshiper, even though you know that you're an Israelite. You know that your skin is brown. You know that the so-called white man is Esau. Hey, that's good. Give yourself a round of applause. But that don't mean you a true worshiper. The true worshipers worship in the spirit. Hey, we're going to read it. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. Now, how do you worship the Lord in spirit? Y'all watch those scary pictures when the left-hand side is getting all into they ceremonies like we going to see in this video. I mean, they get in. They got their blood. We got the blood. We got the blood of Hamashiach. But do you believe? Because this blood ain't physical. They use physical blood. You know, they got Sabbaths. Like this February 2nd that just passed. This was one of their high holy days on the left-hand side. They got their own personal calendar. They follow the moon. I mean, these people are deep in Yahushua, who's on the left-hand side. The Lord created evil as well as good. So the Lord allows them to get power and everything. But they doing it right. So what's up with you Israelites? How are you not worshiping in the spirit and in truth? Because you haven't been called on that level. And man, we soaking in through the spirit at this time. So we recognize that everything is spiritual. So it says, for the Father, let me read that again. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. So that means you can't come with half truth. I got 99%. This truth means a lot. Just like on the left-hand side. When they come, they're not calling themselves white men. Hey, I heard some of those Masonic high-level 33rd degrees, especially those witches. I think they call like the Daughters of Zion. They got a branch for the Daughters of Sarah. You know, and they let you know when you get into them circles, they ain't speaking Latin and Greek. They speaking Hebrew. And they're saying the Lord's name in Hebrew, which means they know the Lord's name is Yahweh and his son is Yahushua. You can't deny that and want the power to come to you. So the same thing on the right-hand side. What is wrong with you? You think you're going to come to the Lord saying Jesus? And the Lord going to open the spiritual world and the power. This is power the Lord is about to unleash unto his men in the earth. You can't be doing this in falsehood. So you got everything else right but the name. So you're not in 100% truth. The Lord just said it. He says in spirit and in truth. In truth, he don't have to sum it up. That means everything. Truth is truth, a mouth. Truth is truth. You can't be coming in with lies. And a lot of these Israelites, you're out here lying. You're out here doing your own thing. You're switching up the doctrine. You know, your own belly is being filled. Because if knowledge is so powerful, you take a couple of these scriptures, you get some of this understanding, and you sitting on top of the world. That's how powerful this jewel that we have, you know. But when the Lord is really calling you, you understand you don't abuse the word like that. See, we into this appreciation spirit. This is an honor to be sitting here with this understanding. Because this thing about to go down. The hammer, it's about to smash. Then you're going to find out who's my chosen. So it says, but the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. So the Lord is looking for these men to worship him. So if you have stepping, the Lord ain't dealing with you. Yahweh is a spirit. So you can't physically see the Lord, but through the faith. What's that? Romans 11 and 1. Romans 11, not Romans, Salakia. Hebrews 11 and 1. Hebrews 11 and 6. It's impossible to please him because you can't see him. He's the invisible God. So the Father is a spirit. So how do you please the spirit? That means you got to get into spiritual things. But see, that's still scary for Jake. Oh, you going too far now. You starting to sound like a witch. See, Jake don't understand how deep this thing go. Our focus, our mind, you know, our everything is in the spiritual realm. As we focus on today's activity, you know, I just got off the plantation and I'm going home to my family. I just pumped some gas. I'm going to eat some food. I say excuse me when I'm going to the elevator. I do everything like the rest of the Akim that you're supposed to do in this humanly flesh. But our minds, our conversation is in heaven. And that's not given to everybody. They can't understand that right there. That's only for the hopeful elect. That's only for the elect. So Yahweh is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit. So the Lord ain't looking for your fringe t-shirt. The Lord don't care about the colors on your garment, how big your menorah is, your Shield of David, how many rap songs you put together, how elaborate you say shalom, brother, how hard you pound the next brother's fist. The Lord says, Yahweh is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. Reiterating that spirit and truth goes together. So if you're not in a 100% truth, guess what? You do not have the spirit. So we're going to take a look at, you know, what you about to walk into, man. While y'all playing games with this word. While you sitting on your leaves thinking this is a game, man. This ain't no game. The Lord about to shut this shit down. And he's going to use Esau, your enemy, as a weapon. And a lot of you niggas are in some serious shit. You're in some serious trouble because you played with the word of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah. Now it's about to hit the fan. And that Holy Spirit, those angels, Michael stand up, they ain't going to be on your side, man. You can't get through this on your own. Man, let's check this out.
I got to say this. With the Super Bowl coming up again and Lady Gaga performing in the halftime show, I've watched several videos from a lot of great channels, and they've all done the breakdown on what they think we can expect and what we should expect from this halftime show. But I'm noticing things that are occurring. And to me, I could be wrong, but to me, it seems like it all picked up back when the Gothard Tunnel ritual occurred. You guys remember that? Back in June, we all watched this enormous 8.5 million pound ceremony occur.
And that right there, they let you know that represents the bunkers, because this is going to be them coming back out as the Phoenix. See, they going to set up operation, and they going to unleash this shit, but they want to run. And that's just like it tell you in Revelations, they're going to tell the rocks to fall on them. They're going, like Amos 9, tell you they're going to hide in the cliffs. So they got the bunkers going. So this ritual that they did, it was speaking on several levels. But Esau know eventually there's going to be a pushback from the angels. They know the scriptures. They're witches and warlocks. They on point because the Lord is sending them information. But Esau is so proud. He's so puffed up. He think he's going to beat the Lord. He think he's going to come out of this with his AI technology, and if all the people are on his side. So it's a lot going on in this.
The world's longest tunnel. And even the mainstream media pointed this out as satanic and basically on the fringe of lunacy. But I saw it a totally different way, and most other really good YouTube channels said the same. Watching the dancers, listening to the rhythmic music, and just seeing everything occurring, along with all the heads of state that were flown in for this particular ceremony. Now remember, this is basically just it's a construction site. But this tunnel ritual told us a whole different story, and it incorporated CERN in it. For whatever reason, a tunnel for traveling underground, these people incorporated CERN into it. They also incorporated 9/11 into it. Now bear with me, I'm getting to a point here. For whatever reason, this enormous ritual, when I first saw it, and I said it in the video that I made, which you're looking at right now when I first saw it, this was them declaring the beginning of something. And when they showed this with all the people writhing around on stage and the rhythmic music and people under the veil and the giant screen
that's the CERN right there.
Appears to be a portal with 3 spirits floating in front of it, then the scarab beetle, and then the clock stopping at 9/11, so forth and so on. And then suddenly everything else that came out into the news after that. I mean, because this is completely normal for a completed construction job, right? We didn't have a big giant flat screen picture of the devil and scarab beetles when they finished the big dig here in Boston, but hey, we're a little soft here in Boston apparently. We didn't have wild beasts dancing all around after they finished the new bridge. But again, maybe they just do things a little bit differently on the other side of the world. But I couldn't help but noticing all the symbolism for the devils, all the symbolism for witchcraft, and all the pagan ceremony, including the people with the music close by, the woman walking out with a giant goat. I mean, I'm just a conspiracy theorist. I make this shit up. But at any rate, that stuff went down the memory hole when Marina Abramovic came up.
Abramovic here, they got pictures up with Jay-Z in them, But as you can see, and they gonna go on some, she gets nasty, man. They throwing around blood. See, they preparing for this war. And I guarantee that's real blood right there. Probably period juice. They preparing for this war. And if you watch that Grammy ceremony from last night, you gonna see this thing ain't no joke. Esau takes this very serious, and this is not gonna be physical. Yeah, it's gonna be physical because your ass gonna be caught up in the web and not know how to get out. But we gonna be fighting with our faith. That's our shield. That's our protection weapon. And that's not given to everybody. So these men don't know how to fight through the spiritual world, through the faith, because look at this. This is being cast upon you while your ass is riding to damn work and shit. You listening to a camp lesson, Edomite licking the boot, whatever you doing. You still haven't got into the deepness, the depth of Yahushua yet. that this thing is fully spiritual, man. You know, and then you wonder why you being attacked. And you wonder why the spiritual world, you know, is coming against you and you're always going through shit and things is happening because you haven't figured it out yet. You haven't fully tapped in that this thing is through the spirit, man. And the only way to get to Yahushua is through that world. That's why the Lord say, hey, he's the door. Because what's about to happen with the elect going up into the air, man, that's very spiritual to see that ahead of time. You know, brothers are teaching it, but they teaching it and don't believe it. You got to believe that you're going to go up, physically up, when these bombs are going down. That's a heavy level of faith. This is St. John's 10:1, NLT. I tell you the truth. Remember, you must worship in spirit and in truth. I tell you the truth. Anyone who sneaks over the wall of the sheepfold rather than go through the gate must surely be a thief and a robber. And why would you climb over Yahushua? Because you don't get it. You don't get it. You haven't got close to him. Because Yahushua is in the spiritual world right now. He's the high priest in heaven. But he's in heaven. So you must be tapped in. The Lord got to let you in. And some brothers haven't been let in. So they just said, I'm going to do another way to get saved. I'm going to prove my alliance with Yahushua another way. I'm going to do more videos. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do marching. You know, so you start climbing up some other way. But the one who enters through the gate into the sheepfold, the gate is through the spirit. We're fighting a spiritual war. Ephesians 6. We're fighting a spiritual war. And Paul kept bringing that up over and over and over. In one of the biggest chapters, man, when Paul, the Lord put it on Paul to show the battle is Romans 7. Your spirit is fighting to get tapped in, but the flesh keep bringing you back to these earthly, beggarly, weak things, man. You still lusting over ass. That's still a hump you haven't fully got over yet. But it's a carnal hump. And we all going to have these, you know, carnal things that stuck to us. We all got a thorn, something we battling with. But overall, the elect is growing in the spiritual world at this time. You fully focus on that account. We fully focus on that payback that's coming in the spiritual world real soon. That's heavy, man. But the one who enters through the gate is the shepherd of the sheep. The gatekeeper opens the gate, and that gate is your mind. It tells you that in Revelation 3. The Lord has opened the door and no man can shut it. You ain't got that kind of strength. When the Lord knock, you open. That's through your mind. You got jokers really looking for a gate. That's all through the spirit. This is a parable here. So you got to enter, like St. John's 4:24 just said, you got to worship in spirit and truth. So we must be a constant meditation right now, constantly tapped in with the heavens. The gatekeeper opens the gate for him, and the sheep recognize his voice. So we hear Yahushua calling through the spirit when we listen to the teachings of our apostles, elders, and bishops. We hear the voice of Yahushua through these men. And we hear them calling, saying, come this way. Go over here. Well, they tell you that they followed the Lamb wherever he went. So we hear the calling, that's through the teaching. But that's spiritual. That's the gate. The gatekeeper opens the gate for him, and the sheep recognize his voice and come to him. He calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. After he has gathered his own flock, he walks ahead of them. So the Spirit is leading us. It's like the Lord gave a warning in Exodus, I think it's 23:20, that an angel, he said his angel to go before you. So Yahushua is clearing the way. That's that path. What's that, Proverbs 4:16? The Lord put us on a path, but Yahushua has cleared the way. He's knocked everything out your way so that you can focus right now. Focus on him. That's why the Lord cleaned out women from you and took this person out your life and took that person out your life and gave you the job you work on. Hey, the Lord might have to take some kids from you, man. The Lord gonna do what he got to do to clear that way so you can be focused on making it through that gate. After he has gathered his flock, his own flock, he walks ahead of them, and they follow him because they know his voice. And another voice they will not follow. So they follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. They won't follow a stranger. They will run from him because they don't know his voice. A stranger will they not follow, but will flee from him, for they know not the voice of a stranger. And that's why we ended up over here with the apostles of Great Millstone. Because the Lord is calling through Apostle Tahar on down to the rest of the apostles, the bishops, the elders that's doing this thing. The Lord led us over here. That's why we over here. Because the voice, the spirit now. Because remember, Yahushua is possessing men. He's controlling men at this point because he's physically not here. So there's a trance that come over you through the spirit, and the Lord speaks through you. That's how this works. And the sheep hears the voice, even though you might not recognize the face. We don't look too much at the physical of a man. That's why they tripping up on our apostles now. They looking at the gray hair, they old. They too carnal. But they can't hear Yahushua speaking through our apostles. But we hear it. It says they won't follow a stranger. They will run from him because they don't know his voice. Those who heard Yahushua use this illustration don't understand what he meant because they wasn't in the spirit. But we in the spirit. So we in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, so we can see the left-hand spirits too. Because as you can see, they getting busy on the left-hand side. Because there's a war that's set out against us. You know, the true worshipers, and call Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, Yahweh Ratazah, Abba Ratazah, I'm one of those men. I'm one of y'all. But those men gotta be here. They gotta be here for all the prophecies taking place. Somebody gotta be these men. Somebody gotta fill these shoes. So we can see the left side moving too. Because the left side gotta move. If this wasn't happening, hey, you might fall into some doubt. But everything is happening, which is strengthening our faith. So when we see the wicked scared and they move and they doing ceremonies like this strengthening our faith that, yeah, we moving in the right direction because they're getting scared. And the Lord tell you in Revelations 12 that he know if his time is short. So he going to come down with great wrath. And that great wrath will play out with the military and things like that. But behind the guns and the concentration camps and the MOTP, they got their witches on the left-hand side. They popes, they priests, they warlocks. And they're pushing this through their left-hand energy. So the Lord going to push his men in the day that we coming in. He going to push our physical bodies, our physical vile bodies through the right-hand spirit of Yahushua. And it's going to be beautiful to see. So I'm going to end it right there. Akim, get spiritual. And those that spiritual, man, Yahweh Bashem, Yahushua, Barakatah to you. And may the Lord keep you. Because this whole thing is about the spirit of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua. That's how we get out, giving all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rakah Wadash. Double honor to the elders, a great millstone who taught me this truth. A sincere Shalom, Labakarium, Shah Yasha Allah. That's peace to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.